Welcome back to the Nuggets of Gold podcast and YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about a Jimmy Garoppolo, Odell Beckham trade rumor that started via The Athletic. I will also link that article below, so feel free to go check that out. I'll also be just letting you know right now, I'm going to be having a couple episodes this week come out with Grant Cohn, so that'll come out on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then also maybe a Thursday segment as well. But really excited to be working with him. With all that said, let's talk about this Odell Beckham Jimmy Garoppolo trade rumor. Now, I'll start with the Niners side since I am a 49ers podcast, but I will definitely talk about the Brown side as well, because it is an interesting rumor. For the 49ers side, this would mean that, they're turning the offense over to Trey Lance. I think that's something that should be happening now. Now, I'm recording this Monday, and Jimmy Garoppolo is currently practicing, and Trey Lance is not. So it is likely that this would be something that would be closer to that trade deadline, which is in November. So there's still a couple weeks until that happens. But for Jimmy Garoppolo, this year he has a cap hit of 26.3 million, and next year he has a cap hit of 27 million. However, Jimmy can be cut, and there'll only be a 1.4 cap million next year. So for the Niners, they'd be removing that, from the books for next year, which I think they would do either way, either by trading him or cutting him this offseason. So they would just be doing that a little bit early. And then in Odell Beckham, they would be adding 15 million for the next 2 years in cap hit, no dead cap on the rest of his deal. So, they'd be saving money. Also, I think most people would think that they'd be getting the better side of the deal in this, just because I get like quarterback's valuable, but it's kind of weird for the Browns. Like they already have Mayfield, like Jimmy's going to go in there and be their starter. It's because Baker's injured, but I think that Odell Beckham is definitely the better player at this point. I know that he's been super banged up recently, but he's still a very talented player. You saw him last weekend. I mean, he made a bunch of big plays. So I just feel like there's a lot more upside. Now, is there a chance on the Niners side that Odell Beckham comes over and is kind of like what he's been in Cleveland, which is, I mean, you have to say it's been disappointing. I think all the Browns fans will say that. And I think a lot of Browns fans still like Odell Beckham, but it has definitely been frustrating and disappointing just with the injuries that he's had. So it could definitely turn out that way for Niners, but I think that their plan is already to move on from Jimmy, and I don't think the market's too high for him. Also, for the Niners side, it's been pretty clear that Kyle Shanahan has gone after Odell Beckham like every year. So this is a guy that Kyle loves. He'd be bringing him over. You'd be turning the offense over to Trey Lance, which would be really, really cool. And if the offense is turned over to Trey Lance, you would then have a wide room of Deebo Samuel, Odell Beckham Jr., and Brandon Ayuk. And I know that, Brandon and Odell haven't had like years or anything, and they've started out slow. But and Deebo Samuel's been amazing, so we've got to credit him for that. But I do think that it'd be a very, very talented group. And then also you have George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, like you got a couple other pieces in there as well. But I think it would be a great way to help Trey Lance kind of get adjusted into the NFL. I also think, Brandon Ayuk getting another mentor in the room. I do think that Debo is a great mentor for him, even though he's only drafted a year before. But I do think that Debo's a good mentor, but also having a guy like Odell Beckham, who's kind of been there, done all this stuff. I know some people think that Odell's like a locker room cancer. I've never felt that way. I feel like a lot of that was just that he's playing for a huge media market, and so I think it's tough. I think it's really tough for New York people and people that like Odell are just kind of flashy. So I think it was just a tough situation. You haven't really seen anything bad about him on the Browns happen. At least I haven't. And it seems like him, Baker, all those guys get along really well. So I do think it would be positive in that aspect. But you never know. Like bring a new face somewhere. Like maybe some of those rumors that I feel like were kind of blown out of proportion weren't. But overall, I really like the side for the 49ers. I think it's a little bit weird just because he would be making 15 million for the next years. I feel like they would want to free that up and go get someone else. But if Odell Beckham is a guy that Kyle thinks has just been hurt and banged up, I that's what I think Kyle thinks. I think that this would be a smart move for them. Now, for the Browns, and this is why I don't think it'll happen, I don't think it really makes any sense for them. I get that they want to free up some money and move on from Odell Beckham, but then they'd be adding money, like a bunch of salary this year, and then they'd only lose $1.5 million or 1.4 million. So I'm sorry, in 2022. But this is for a backup quarterback when their quarterback currently is healthy. So this is like assuming that Baker's shoulder injury that he's been dealing with and playing through is going to be like re-aggravated or something like that's going to happen where he's going to miss time. Now, if he was to miss time, you would still need Jimmy Garoppolo to go in there and learn the playbook for at least a couple weeks. So this is just a really strange spot. Now, say that they did it right now and then they like let Baker like rest a month. I don't really know why they do that. I guess it makes sense, but also like I don't know why you go after a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo when also like when they have Case Keenum there. So I don't really see how it works for the Browns. For the Niners, I think it's great though. So let me know what you guys think, Browns fans, Niners fans. I know a lot of people, don't like Odell Beckham. I get it. Like I get it if you don't want the trade to happen. Anytime you're going for like a very expensive player, very like marquee player like Odell Beckham, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't like that move, and I totally understand that. But let me know what you guys think. If you're not a fan, explain why. Love to hear your guys' opinions, and if you are, let me know what you think about the trade. Also, Browns fans, let me know what you think because this was a like legit rumor that was talked about. So wanted to bring it up, but I am surprised that it is brought up because I don't think it'll happen. But thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you very soon.